Um, with large companies, there are very few actually design-driven companies. So Daikin you saw is a design-driven company. If you start thinking about how many Indian companies are design-driven, you'll possibly find very few names. And a lot of the time they don't even know why should we be design-driven. So in India, it's about time we started talking about design. And from that context is where we've created a model to even start thinking about what is design. How do you measure? How do you, if you're going to think about how should my startup or my company or me be design driven, where does it start from? So what we're going to talk about now is that. So we saw how a design driven company works and things. But now we talk about how can a company be design driven. Okay. So fundamentally, what we are talking about how good design actually makes is the best survival strategy for business. Going forward, it is the best survival strategy because things are changing so fast. So from that perspective, what is good design?
Don't go to Paris. Don't tour Paris, and please don't do Paris. Live in Paris. Airbnb a loft in South Pigalle, or flat in the Fourth. Read a book. Make your bed. Leave the kids with Dad, and go head to head with your host Laura. She's good. Eat way too much. Wherever you go, don't go there. Live there. Even if it's just for a night.
So everybody knows about Airbnb here, I suppose, yeah? So this is a company that in 2007 two people saw an opportunity, and they actually went out and they made these they made airbeds and breakfast available for when there was a conference going on and there weren't enough rooms, there wasn't enough accommodation. That was in 2007, and they thought from here it was really simple to convert this into a business, right? So what do? Here's an idea, now you start coding. But a good business is not code alone. It's code and a lot of imagination. So what happened was, in the first year, they just stagnated. It was $200 a week and it was just flat and it wasn't going anywhere. And then they had this idea of, and this is what they themselves claim, Jolia Beer claims that design thinking bailed us out. They had this idea of actually going and photographing all the houses that they were listing. People were not getting inspired. Their imagination was not being provoked to actually go out and stay in these places. So they did something that is non-scalable, which is non-tech. They actually went out, they bought cameras, they went out and they took pictures and they uploaded them. What happened since? Now they have 150 million listings and they are in 34,000 cities and I think in 190 countries. But what you see here is a company that in a very short while has become very sophisticated in talking to its customers. Even when it's talking to us, it's not just telling us, okay, you'll get 2 bedrooms, you'll get 1 room for the kids, you'll get this, you'll get that. It's telling you, it's actually talking to you and your imagination. So it's fully understood people, and what to tell them. So the tech is there, but design and design thinking is playing in the imagination. So it's the coming together of the left and the right that makes for good business. So that is what makes design sense. Yeah, for those of you who don't know the story, that was the map. You can always source it and see it. So business at the end of the day is endless possibilities and transformative experiences. It's moments of surprise. It's opportunities for conversation and connection. It has to be beyond logic thinking, transactions and commerce, which is where design comes in. How many people know that symbol, that triangle? Does anybody know that?
Prisma?
Yeah, right. How old is Prisma?
Very short.
Will you tell us, roughly, will you try and tell us how many days old is it? What does it do? Attempt it, you could be wrong.
I've seen it 2 months before.
Yeah.
It just changes your photo to an artistic feel, something like that.
Yeah. So, Prisma found a sweet spot. Okay, a sweet spot that this was not something that the founders wanted to do. But this is what all of us wanted to do. We are people obsessed with images. We're taking pictures all the time, right? What's the next thing we would like to do? We'd like to convert them into art. We'd like to share them. And the other thing is we're all bursting with creative potential. But who wants to go take a whole course in creativity, right? So this is a shortcut to the next level. And suddenly you have this picture and you have millions of pictures, and suddenly your picture gets immortalized. It becomes Mona Lisa, and it allows you to do that. This Prisma is just 100 years old, okay? And in about 10 countries, it is already enjoying 300,000 downloads a day. It's already in 25 to 30 countries. It's just they found that spot, So if I ask you, what is it tomorrow that you're going to do? And uncomplicated, tell me what is it that people really want? And you could do it tomorrow and everybody will want it. What is it? Most likely we won't have an answer. Most likely we haven't, as Daikin has gone immersed in people's houses, we haven't immersed enough for that answer to emerge in our heads. So we try things, and then and so this is a Russian professor sitting somewhere who came up with this app. So finding that spot, and it starts from people and what they want. Of course, he's used AI and neural networks, but he was thinking art. He was thinking what people want to do with AI and neural networks. So ultimately, just remember this: that business gains when people are surprised and touched, when they feel a connection, when they can tell and retell stories and share their experiences. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, so this is the kind of thing you can do on Prisma. There are over 3 dozen filters, and they keep adding on more. And there are times when they tell you too many users, it's hanging, and then you can come back here. But you keep going back because you so badly want it. What is that? That little box over there?
Airports box.
Yes. Yeah. So here's a company that talks about how they value craft above all else. So the airports are wireless, and the beauty of this is this little box. It actually charges them, okay, and keeps them really safely. And of course, they are very responsive. And people say that the hearing experience is completely intimate. The fact that you're not connected to any wires. People also say that it looks like you've got cigarettes sticking out of your ears, And there are other better headphones, but I'm not talking about that. I love the case because really, I bought a pair of Bose headphones, and they're really nice. They work very well. But you should see the case. It's just so sad. Why didn't they think it all the way through? That ability to think it all the way through from the OS that has been designed to that case. That is what makes a design-driven company. Of course, somebody is scampered to copy the case, somebody is scampered to copy the headphones, but they cannot replicate that whole experience that comes from really being design-driven. What is it? Yes. So it's design thinking. So today a lot of companies, a lot of big elephants, the elephant companies, the Infosys, the IBM, the consulting companies as well, they are rushing towards this new thing called design thinking. So somebody wants to train 10,000 people, somebody wants to train 100,000 people, but one weekend with design thinking is not going to change anything. However, it's useful to know. It's useful to know, I'll explain in the next slide why. Because it's a first step. Okay, if you want to do MasterChef, it's learning to cut potatoes. So that's what it is. It enables a connection with users and facilitates the ability, it gives you the ability to prototype new ideas really fast. Instead of sitting in meetings, you can actually get hands-on, start making things, go running out, meet the user, come back, again show them what you made. It's a quick way to test your ideas. It's a quick way to go from problem to opportunities. That's what entrepreneurs do. You look at a problem and you convert it into an opportunity. So it is something you require and it's something you should bother to learn, because to continuously adapt, to survive and to thrive, you need this. But let's go
Would you like
beyond
your
that.
OS to have a male or female voice?
Female voice.
How would you describe your relationship with your mother?
It's fine. Well, actually, I think the thing I always found frustrating about my mom is, you know, if I tell her something that's going on in my life, her reaction is she about her. It's not about.
Thank you. Please wait as your individualized operating system is initiated.
Hello, I'm here.
Oh. Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm well. How's everything with you?
Pretty good, actually. It's really nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
Anybody seen the film?
Yeah,
Yeah? Will you tell us what it's about?
it's about a human-powered operating system, and the voice is led by Scarlett Johansson, and it's a wonderful movie. It brings out an emotion inside an operating system.
Yeah. So basically, if you saw the shift, he installs a new OS. The previous OS is a little bit abrupt, and cuts him off. The new OS, of course, it's superpowered, but beyond that, she's very intuitive. It's a she, intuitive, understands you, relates to you, and he ends up falling in love with her. Okay, so that's what technology can do. Technology can actually do that, but to be able to get here, to be able to create something like that, you have to work with design, and with design is where you have to fall completely in love. You have to be ready to have a lifelong love affair with design, like Steve Jobs had. That's when you can be a design-driven company. To be always curious, always wanting to know what's the next thing you can do, and design thinking just doesn't cut it. You have to go beyond that. So, which is where design sense comes in. So that's the case that I want for my headphones and the AirPods. So design sense is really information, intuition, and intelligence coming together to continuously shape the new, to keep moving forward all the time. It's a sensitive approach. It's sensitive to materials, making sensible choices. It's about creating sensorial experiences. It's a combination of social, aesthetic, economic, and most importantly, an evolutionary sense, a cognitive and evolutionary sense. I will explain each of these further on. So, the Western view is that of human-centered design, okay, and that can become a very individualistic view. Whereas actually, if you take the context of the East, you take the context of emerging markets, you especially take the context of India, you cannot reduce design down. The family is very important to us. There are so many cultures, there are so many communities, there's so much that we can borrow and use, and that if we don't work with that, then we're kind of losing out. So we have to create our own models to understand that. One of the models we use and we've used successfully is this whole thing of figuring out individual psychology, figuring out group behavior, how does this kind of group behave, figuring out community cultures, and then working with that. Sometimes individualizing it is not good enough. So in your work, don't narrow it, keep it broader. See the opportunity in keeping it broader. I will illustrate through an example or two. So here's an opportunity which is based entirely on this whole diversity that is there in the world. We don't have it yet for India, but it's a fabulous app. If you use it, you will feel like a child. You will be so happy when you hear it being used. You can actually speak in, say, for instance, Hindi, and it will come out in Japanese. So it's called Speak and Translate. Yeah, Speak and Translate. So you can speak in any language, it comes out in whatever language you want. Doing that for India. Such an opportunity. Somebody must take this opportunity. And it's so simple. You press this button, speak in, and when you finish speaking, automatically that button starts moving and it comes out. Such a simple, big idea, So, and it's based on this whole thing of recognizing diversity and seeing how can we work with it. Another example in our own work, this is for a chain called Maskalandar, which they developed a narrow view. So the chain, when it was initially developed, was for the North Indian techie, living in South India and does not get home food. That's a great starting point. But they realized that, and when did they begin to realize this? Their VCs told them, you're just adding on, you're just scaling up, you're adding on more and more of the restaurants, but you're not seeing how you can unlock more value. So we spent some time visiting MK. We actually even pointed out to them, we worked with their team and realized that it's far beyond the North Indian techie who have taken to that food. So we can't go with the initial premise. You have to keep learning, keep reinventing along the way. And we realized that there were many different kinds of people actually visiting, and they were going for different needs. So when you think of the North Indian techie and you think of his work day and you make food available, you're not thinking of dinner, you're not thinking of weekends, and you have 30 kitchens in town, And so we just from there we started unlocking. We started working with each group of people we found, and we came up with ideas. We came up with MK Wala Dabba, which gives you chola bhaturas and things like that on weekends. Even the South Indian family would enjoy. For young couples, we came up with other ideas. And nothing, just using our imagination, suddenly there was complete business unlock over here. They didn't have to add on more restaurants, but they started really harvesting value there. It was just because they was just thinking so narrow, they were not looking at all this opportunity, the kind of culture we have. And so again, using frameworks, I told you earlier about individual psychology, group behavior, community culture, there are ways to understand all of this. And a conscious effort has to be made. Sometimes you need to go back to the drawing board and always be ready to have an open mind, start from the beginning many times and learn new things and adapt. Another context that allowed some good work to happen in Bangalore was Bangalore Forward, which was developed as India's first public-private partnership initiative where all the stakeholders miraculously came together, and the dream lasted for 3 years where a lot of good was done. The airport came out of that, Freedom Park came out of that, a lot of initiatives. So 3 years of the citizens, the business, and the different stakeholders of the city working together, looking at, so rather than defining it as a government initiative, we just call it Bangalore Forward. For everyone, forward means a different thing. And they were able to give their inputs. It was, it's every person's forward was actually included in that one forward. So it was integrating many diverse perspectives into one perspective. So by shaping a continuous dialogue, you can actually, and forging deep connections, you can actually unlock far more economic value. I'll just explain this again through a simple example. So there was a set of institutions scattered, competing against each other, and rather than looking out at the world. And there was KMC, Kasturba Medical College, there was MIT, and they were in Sikkim, they were everywhere. And what we did here was we decided to sort of link it back to a common past, to a man who was inspired by life, and say that all of you have a strong common legacy. And now it's time for you to stop competing with each other and compete in the future with the world, with the globe. And the idea of the brand Manipal was created. And that idea itself suddenly created tremendous value. It became a global brand. So there were many different institutions, but the economic value came out of a whole design thinking, sort of design exercise, branding exercise. And it wasn't just you create a brand out there. There's a lot of things that had to be done to reflect on and see how we could really create this value. The same kind of thinking, it's been 15 years of that thinking with the brand. We've also looked at, so that's the brand Manipal, which has a lot of respect, but because it doesn't try to be red, blue, orange, yellow, like a bright new brand, but it sort of says I'm rooted. I may be private, but I'm still rooted. So that's important to me. And that thinking went right up till their architecture. Previous architecture was these cold grey buildings, but when we started talking about inspiration, about what the brand could be, what our design philosophy could be, it's about inspiration. If you see this building, which is the headquarters, and we call it manipal.edu because online that's where everyone goes, so physically that's where they go. It also reflects the design of the logo. So it softened up and made it ready for competing globally. This, for instance, again, a lot of inward-facing departments, which have already learned how to say run hostels or do different kinds of services, sort of started to face outwards and become brands. So Yoho, for instance, is smart hostel living for young people. Very well thought through, size of rooms to technology that can sort of free them up to just study while all services are taken care of. Again, services exist, but it's just thinking that put a lot of imagination to really just unlock new value there. Yeah, a big favorite and very, very important. Nature teaches us that which doesn't coexist stagnates. But this is a lesson that I'm surprised that in the West it's always forgotten. It's always forgotten. They talk about sustainability a lot, but when you see actually, if you walk into a restaurant in a fast food place in the US and you just want a banana, you will get a brown paper packet, you'll get a napkin, you'll get I don't know how many things to go with it, which are so unnecessary. But we are getting there. We are really, really getting there. This, for instance, is a garbage mountain in Mumbai. You've all heard about the Chembur fires. There are 5 million people living around it. I have visited something called Rafiq Nagar. And what's happening there, there's drugs, there are houses right next to each other, and there's what is festering there is very scary, which people in Bombay don't even realize that that's in the middle of our financial capital. At one level, okay. At another level, you have, so Amazon, any guess on how many boxes Amazon ships every minute? Not millions, it'll get there. 1,000 boxes a minute, okay? Where is that going? It's changing our culture where at one time we had an upcycling culture which we were very embarrassed about. We were very embarrassed about keeping plastic packets under mattresses. Your families have done that? You've done that, right? And now we get, for any small thing, you get lots of plastic and you get the box. And what is interesting is that, so our culture has already shifted. So much so that recently, an retailer has launched a new logo, which is a red box. Right? They're celebrating the box, And however, we don't talk about it. So maybe I'm doing the wrong thing talking about this. But for somebody, there's an opportunity here. Is there an opportunity here? Somebody could do something about this, Because people don't fundamentally change. You know you're doing the wrong thing. When you get that box from Amazon, you know you're doing the wrong thing. Is there something we could do about it? Maybe there's an opportunity.
Okay, come on now, everything's fine, right? I say we tell this kid what we think about that scene. People, come on! You get out there right now and get these people on my side, or else you're fired. Go on, tell them what you think.
You don't know me, but I'm inside. I'm just the old-hand delivery guy. But it seems like trees might be worth a try. So I say, let it go.
My name is Dan.
And my name's Rose.
Our son Wesley kinda close, and that's not good, so we suppose we should let it grow.
Let it grow, let it grow. You can't reap what you don't sow. There's a seed inside the earth, just one way to know its worth. Let's celebrate the world's rebirth. We say let it grow.
So it's about how people will go along with just about anything, but given a good idea, they'll come back. They'll come back and they'll accept it right away. And so that's the beauty of this, how a child brings back a seed when all the trees have gone. So it's about natural sense is something which is not going to go away, and it's a business opportunity, and it makes design sense. I'm not going to show this to you, but I would like you to read and see every video on a company called Pret a Manger. Yeah. So this, they are a fast food chain, but very different. It's a cheerful place where it doesn't feel like a fast food chain. Each one of the 350 outlets have a fresh kitchen right there. They cook for you right there. And what's beautiful is what goes on behind. They have decided for themselves that they will have zero waste. So every outlet is tied up with a charity. All the food goes to a charity every evening. Okay, and from those charities they take back people and employ them within their place, and they create a whole cycle. So they care about the homeless, they care about youth unemployment, they care about natural resources, and all of this is part of their agenda. So within the company, they have many projects running for each of these issues. So on YouTube, you can see the videos of all of their projects. And when you go there, you can feel it. The way you feel when you just go to this place. They are also part of the story of something called Bester Village, which was a place where there were a lot of Indian immigrants and there was a lot of infighting and it was becoming a bad place. And they started sourcing cakes for all of the outlets all over the world from there, and it changed lives. It led to entrepreneurship. Some young guys were doing something and then they started working with them. So it's possible to work with National Central. You want to see the video? Customers to change the world, and they're growing. It's a chain that's really growing. This is some work we did in Tumkur, which was a small district very close to Bangalore, and running the risk of getting eaten up by Bangalore and becoming just a place that services the city, whereas actually the roots were agrarian. So we realized that through design research, and we used our own unique model to do that design research, and realized that here the farmer's son doesn't want to be a farmer. And this is going to change the landscape of this place. So we actually worked with the farmers, trained them, did a lot of work there to actually help them become agripreneurs from agriculturists. So actually take a product to market which is quality tested and of a certain quality. So there's a business opportunity even there. That's the model. That is what allowed us to sort of think of this being the first initiative that needed to be implemented, and then other initiatives could follow.